Go live here. So start the live here. Yeah, the fight. Let's get ready. And then we go live here. 3, 2, 1. Madam Dean, start a live video. That would be me. Subhanallah. Subhanallah. Alhamdulillah, man. Con la maldición. Okay. So, here we go. All right, man. It's not a bit crooked. All right, then. Maybe that's as good as we're going to get it. Oh, man. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Eid Mubarak. Dear brothers, dear sisters, how are you? How are you? Man, so I emerged from the month of Ramadan. Alhamdulillah, I made it, man, I made it. I made it. What a month it was. And what a year it's going to be. What a year it's going to be, man. What a year it was, and what a year it's going to be. The year of the fight. And there's a whole bunch coming, man. There's a whole bunch coming this year. People get ready. People get ready. There's a storm a-coming. Yeah, I know it's supposed to be a train, but it's a storm that's coming, man. Get ready, people. Get ready. So if you saw the Instagram post I made for this live, the audio was a song called "Fight" by The Cure. And this was like 1980, 84, 85. This album came out. And the song is called "Fight," man. And this was my anthem. I used to run track, 100 and 200, 4x1, 4x2. And whenever I was preparing for a track meet, I used to play this on my Walkman, man. And this is an anthem. This is an anthem for life, for everyone, but for men in particular, man. You know, because fighting is what we do. You know, fighting is what we do all day, every day. You cannot protect and you cannot provide if you don't fight. That's just the truth of our existence. And I think that's why this song resonated and resonates so deep, man. Even Islamically, you know, jihad, That is a struggle. This life is a test. And how do you pass that test? You passed it by fighting, knowing what you're fighting for, knowing how to fight. So let me just go over these lyrics real quick so you understand what this is. And it's a great song, but it really cuts to the core of not only how we survive, but also how we succeed and how we're going to achieve the ultimate goal, which is Jannah. And that is through jihad. That is through fighting every day, every minute of every day. And if I'm honest, man, the only time that I'm not fighting is when I'm sleeping, when I'm praying. So here we go. Sometimes there's nothing to feel. Sometimes there's nothing to hold. Sometimes there's no time to run away. And sometimes you just feel so old. Sometimes the times it hurts when you cry. The times it hurts just to breathe. And then it seems like there's no one left. And all you want is to sleep. Fight, fight, fight. Just push it away. Fight, fight, fight. Just push it until it breaks. Fight, fight, fight. Don't cry at the pain. Fight, fight, fight. Or watch yourself burn again. Fight, fight, fight. Don't howl like a dog. Fight, fight, fight. Just fill up the sky. Fight, fight, fight. Until you drop. Fight, fight, fight. And never, 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 never stop. That's the song. SubhanAllah. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. Because as men, we are ultimately, and we all know this, and this is the scary thing, we're ultimately on our own. I am the head of my household, and the buck stops here. It is my job to protect everyone within my household, and it is my job to provide for everyone within my household. And that's nobody else's job. It's nobody else's responsibility. Every soul is in my hands. And the only place that I find rest is in the bosom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the only place that I can turn to. The only other close proximity would be my dad. And when his body left this earth or this plane of existence, I was alone. Is there pockets of support? You can pick up the phone and call somebody. Somebody will provide possibly some temporary relief in the middle of a storm. Yeah, if you're lucky. But outside of those moments, it's just you. And you know it. And I know it. It's just us. Our wives depend on us. Our children depend on us. Parents depend on us. If we're lucky. If we're lucky. all these people depend on us. Alhamdulillah, if you're lucky enough to have a wife that loves, respects, and cherishes you, she depends on you. If you're lucky and you're blessed enough to have children who look up to you and admire you and respect you, who emulate you even when you don't want them to, who look to you for leadership and guidance, if you're lucky, they will also depend upon you. And the only one that we can really depend upon, truly lean upon, is God. So what are the battles that we're fighting? And how do we fight? Because most of the enemies that we fight, the demons that we fight, they're here. The evil that lies within us and all the temptations that lie around us. I talk to many men, and one of the biggest hurdles, the biggest battles, the biggest obstacles to the ultimate success. And when I speak of success, I speak of spiritual success, which is the only real success that endures. Real success endures. Real success is not a momentary lapse or temporary win. Real success endures, and the only success that can endure is spiritual success. And one of the biggest hurdles to success is how we as men see ourselves and feel our self-worth. We we ultimately feel and think that our value lies in money. The more money we make is the more valuable we feel. And the less money we make is the less valuable we feel. And this ultimate perspective is what moves so many men. It moves men across countries, through time, over decades. This pursuit of money, this endless pursuit of money, money as the defining factor in our ultimate success. And it is so ultimately detrimental to the soul of a man. You think that you spend your entire life building and accumulating something that you have no ownership of, that you can't take with you, that serves you not when you're standing in front of your Creator on the day of your judgment. He's not going to ask you how much money did you make in 2024. Yet this pursuit of money, this self-defining, self-defeating definition of manhood as the acquirer of wealth, is what drives the vast majority of our decisions. You're absent from the lives of your children for the pursuit of money. You're absent from the lives of your wives for the pursuit of money. Money, money, money. This is how we define ourselves in this world. Why and who said so? What is the value that is ascribed to us by our Creator? Think about it. Do we control money? I mean, do we control money? I don't control money. let's say you make $1 million. Okay, well, you make $1 million, and what happens then if the value of the dollar slides? Hold on a minute. Then what happens to your value? Then what happens to your wealth? Then what happens? That's my wife, man. Hold on, people. On IG Live. What happens? What happens if you got millions of dollars and then the bottom falls out of the dollar, which is coming? Then what happens to your value then? Does your humanity reduce because all the money that you work for reduces? If you invest money in a project and the project goes bottom up, are you less of a human? Do you have less value as a man? Because now all the money that you thought that you accumulated is gone? Is that how it works? This is how we're going to stand in front of our maker, and he's going to say, well, in 2024, you invested in this business and the business lost, and so you know that year you sucked. This isn't how it works. This is not how God values us. This is not how our creator created us. We have no control over money and the value of money. And so if we attach our value to the value of money, then we ultimately attach our value to something that we can't control. Look at people getting silenced and canceled, and they'll close your bank account and shut this off and shut that off. And so does this mean that when that happens, so then if we attach our value to money and our financial position and our financial wealth, then ultimately we're putting our value in the hands of someone else? So is that how it works? So then the world determines our value, or those who control the money, those who control the material world, then determine our value as men? Is that how it works? So if our value as men is attached to how much money we make and how much material wealth that we can gain, how much property, if we have a house or don't have a house, or have a car, don't have a car, if we've got a good car or a bad car, we've got a big house or a small house, or if our house is just a dirt floor and a roof made out of leaves, and if you have that house, then you're less of a man. But if you have a house that is 10 bedrooms and security cameras everywhere and lots of property around it, and trees and a waterfall and a swimming pool, then that man is worth more. Because this is how we act and this is how we live. We spend our lives chasing wealth as if the wealth defines our manhood. This is inescapable, and there's not one man that's watching this who acts or lives differently. We're striving to acquire material wealth as if material wealth defines our manhood. And when we do that, then we put our value as men, we put our value as human beings outside of ourselves, and we put it in the hands of the world, those who control the world. Well, who controls the world? Who is the master of the world? And so, whose value are we putting our hands in? And maybe if our value is in the hands of the world, and the world is therefore setting the standard for what our value is, then which God are we worshiping? Well, just hold on. Which God are we worshiping? I mean, we claim that we worship one God, but if the God that we worship does not place our value in money, but yet and still we place our value as men in money and material wealth, which God are we worshiping? It's a simple question. If we worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if we worship our creator, that means that we live by his standard. And what is God's standard for us? How does God value us as men? God values us as men not by how much money we make. Think about it. If you're trying to get married, how do you evaluate a spouse? What's the criteria? What is the most important criteria to evaluate a potential spouse? Is it how much money they make? Or is it their deen? Is it their character? Is it their moral beliefs and how they conduct themselves in the world, regardless of how much money they have or don't have? If you spend your life focusing on acquiring material wealth and let that, whether or not you acquire wealth, material wealth, how much wealth you acquire, somehow in any capacity impact how you define yourself as a man, you're heading in the wrong direction, because none of this goes with you. And your maker is not going to ask you about how much money you made to determine whether or not you're going to get to Jannah or get to the hellfire. You don't believe me? You don't have to. Just open the Quran and read. Just open your Quran and read. Are you reading your Quran? Because it's all there. I mean, think about it. Think about it. If the value of a man was in any way tied to how much money you make or don't make, look at the guidance that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent us. Show me where. Show me where it says that. Look at the guidance that we've been sent. And 99.9% of it is about doing good deeds, how to determine what to do, when to do it, how to do it, what you believe, your morals, your character, doing right, not doing wrong. That's what the entire guidance is about. That's where our value lies. That's where our value lies. So why do we spend so much time pursuing money and so little time pursuing deen? Why? Just make it make sense. Make it make sense. You meet another man, and the first thing you're asking, well, hi, bro, what do you do? What's your profession? Even as Muslims, this is how we act with each other. We don't immediately start to talk about character and deen and beliefs and all these things that actually make us men. That's what makes us men. We just exist in this superficial realm of money and career as if it means anything. As if it means anything. I remember being a child, and I remember, going to work with my dad. And it's funny because I didn't really know what he did. I saw him talking to people. Well, okay. But I didn't really know what my dad did. I didn't know how much money my dad made. Do any of you know how much money your father made when you were a child? And did it matter? Or did it matter that he was just there as a father for you? The things that he taught you, the character that he bred in you, the discipline that he put on you. Is that what mattered? How you view your father? Or did you evaluate your father based upon the job that he did and the money that he made? Now, I'm sure many of us started to do that the more we got into the world, right? The more we got into the world and we see how the world is run and we see how men are evaluated, then we start to look at our father. Wait a second, my father's a garbage collector. Put your head down. My father, he's just a construction guy, and the world doesn't value blue collar work. And so I'm looking down on my father. Oh, my dad, he makes only this amount of money per year. Put your head down. Right? That's when we started to evaluate our fathers based upon how much money they make or didn't make. But before all of this garbage, and it is garbage, came into our purview about the value of a man, the value of our own fathers, none of that stuff mattered. He was just there and he loved us and he taught us and he guided us. So don't get it twisted. Brothers, don't get it twisted. Brothers, don't get it twisted. Don't define yourself. Don't see any piece of your value as a man and attach it to the amount of money that you make. Because if that's the case, then all poor men go to hellfire and all rich men go to heaven. It even sounds like a joke, you know? So it's not about how much money you have, and it's not about how much money you make. It's about that Quran. It's about the Quran that you don't read. Why don't you read your Quran? Because you're busy making money. Ultimately, this is what it boils down to. Most of the time, we're busy making money. And this is the reason we're busy working. We're busy working, and this is why we don't have time to pick up the Quran and read the Quran. This is the guidance. Fellas, don't get it twisted. Ramadan is just finished. Ramadan is just finished, and we got a year of fighting ahead of us, man. Things are coming. Fellas, things are coming this year. Like, have you seen what's happening in the currency markets? Do you see what's happening to the US dollar? Do you see what has happened to gold? Gold is at an all-time high, 2,500 US dollars per ounce. That is the highest the gold has ever been since the beginning of the gold exchange. But this is not an isolated incident, and this is not an accident. It's a symptom, and if you have gold, it's a great symptom. But if you don't have gold, you have to understand what is causing this to happen. There's a storm brewing, people. There's a storm that is brewing, and this is going to be a year of the fight. And what is the fight? It's not a fight to make money. It's a fight to have character, to know who you are and why you're here and what you're fighting for. It's an internal fight. It always has been, and it always will be. It's a fight to maintain the integrity of your soul. And if you have a wife, it's a fight to protect the integrity of her soul. And if you have children, it's a fight to protect the integrity of their souls, most of which has nothing to do with money. Most of which has nothing to do with money. You know, is it nice to have things? Yes, it's nice to have things. But if you have nothing but your deen, then you have everything you need. If you have nothing but your deen, then you have everything that you need to get to Jannah. There can be no truer statement. There can be no truer statement. If you have nothing but your deen, then you have everything you need to get to Jannah. And this is the only reason that we're here in this dunya, in this struggle, in this jihad, in this fight. There's only one goal. There's only one goal, one destination. And everything that we do has to be attached to that one goal and that one destination. Why do I pray? I pray because I want to get to Jannah, and my Jannah lies in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why I pray. I don't pray because I enjoy praying. I enjoy praying because I want to get to Jannah. Why do I eat? Why do I, put up with so much that we put up with? Why are we striving to have sober patience when you just want to explode? Why? It's just because we want to get to Jannah. That can only be the reason that we do everything and anything that we do. But yet and still, we spend so much time chasing money. Trying to appear successful to the rest of the world. Forget even trying to appear successful to our children and to our wives. Hopefully you have a wife that you don't need to appear successful to. And when I say appear successful, I mean appear successful in the eyes of the world for her to value you. Hopefully you don't. It's not easy, brothers. It's not easy. I know it's not easy. And the struggle is real. And the struggle is real because that struggle is a minute by minute struggle to maintain the integrity of your own soul. When it's time to pray, but you're in the middle of business, when you know you need to read your Quran, but you didn't make time, and you tell yourself that you don't have time. You don't have time to read the guidance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that was sent to guide us to our destination, to our stated destination. You don't have time to read that guidance every day, that you're struggling in the dunya, that the guidance was sent to help you to navigate, to make sure that we get to the goal that we're setting. We don't have time. We have time, brothers. We have time. We have time. There is time. Make time. So as this year is coming, I would urge you, as I urge myself, as I urge you. I'm not outside of everything that I'm speaking on. I'm struggling, as we all struggle. I struggle to make sure that I'm not defining myself, my own humanity, my own manhood, my own fatherhood, my own husbandhood, in the context of this dunya, money. And it's a struggle, because if you're not making a certain amount of money, you feel a certain kind of way. And when you make a certain amount of money, you feel a certain kind of way. This cannot be, brothers. It cannot be. Because the most important thing that we have to provide to our families, to your wife, to your children, is yourself. Is your time. Time is not money. Think about that phrase. Time is money. Time is money. No, time is not money. Because all the money in the world can't buy you one more second of time. Time is not money. That's the trick. That is the trick. That belief is the trick. Time is not money. And who is the master of time? Who is the master of time? I mean, if time is money, then would that make then money the master of time? Or does that mean that those who control the money control the time? So we worship God, but time is money. We worship God, we worship one God, but time is money. And those who control the money control the time, control our time, because time is money. But yet and still we worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Please make it make sense. Make it make sense, brothers. Time is not money. And there's only one master of time, and that is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you owe him time. So if there's one thing that I ask of all of you, and one thing I ask of myself, make sure you make time every day to read your Quran. That's all. Don't get too fancy, man. That's all. You don't have to open up a masjid. You don't have to, save a swath of humanity, stop the war in Gaza. Like, you don't have to do all of that or any of that. Now, if you can and you do, alhamdulillah. But just start with the minimum. This year, make a commitment. If you're not fasting Shawwal, fast Shawwal. 6 days, fast Shawwal. And during that fast, just commit yourself to every day opening your Quran. That's all. Read it to yourself. Or even better yet, sit down with your children. Stop them in their tracks. Where you going, kid? Get over here. Sit down. Hey, you, over here. Sit down. Dad, sit down. Read the Quran. Stop them in their tracks. Call your wife, sweetheart. Baby, come. Just give me 5 minutes. Babies, come, guys. Sit down for a second with daddy. Just read the Quran with your family. That's all. That's all. That's all. 5 minutes every day. We can do it. We can do it. No, we can. Of course we can. It sounds like it's we can do this, fellas, and we need to do it. We need to do it. 5 minutes a day. That's all. We say we worship God. We say that the reason that we do everything that we do is to get to Jannah. And he sent us guidance to get us to Jannah. We've got your wife and your children are in your hands. You can take 5 minutes to read the Quran every day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We can do it. It's funny, I didn't really jump on here to say that. I didn't jump on here to say that, but that is what needs to be said. Because the battle is coming. Your children are fighting battles, your wives are fighting battles. This battle coming. Now let's flip this. What is it? What is what is it that women do? What is it that the sisters do? What is the kryptonite? The kryptonite of men is seeing ourselves as a dollar sign. Well, what is the kryptonite for the sisters? The kryptonite of sisters is investing their value in their beauty. That's the kryptonite of sisters. Putting so much emphasis on how the world sees you and how the world defines your value. The world defines your value by your beauty, and then letting the world define beauty. The world defines the value of a woman as her beauty, just like the world defines the value of a man as his money. Beautiful women are successful women. Beautiful women get stuff that ugly women don't get. Successful men are better than poor men. Successful men are rich men. Unsuccessful men are poor men. Right? The more beautiful you are, the more stuff you get. Right? Beauty. And the world then defines beauty for women. Think about it. Right? A baby girl comes out of her mother's stomach, alhamdulillah. And in that state, in her natural state, in that state of fitra, that is the most beautiful that she can possibly be. There's nothing that this dunya can add to a girl to make her more beautiful than the way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made her. Nothing. There's nothing that the world can add to a woman that can make her more beautiful than God has made her. But what do most women spend their life doing? Chasing beauty. What is makeup? Like you have a mountain, right? Or you have a tree. You think that you splash some paint on the mountain and the mountain is going to be more beautiful than the way God made it. You think you're going to take a tree and paint it orange and yellow and pink, and that tree is going to be more beautiful than in its natural state. So why is it that we think that we can just splash paint on women? Women think that they can just splash paint all over themselves, pink lips and that makes them more beautiful than God has created them? You can't be serious. You can't be serious. Like, we believe in one God. We believe that God is perfect. We believe that God is all-knowing. But we think that God has made women in a less beautiful state. And in order to become more beautiful, they have to come into the dunya and watch TV and read magazines to discover how to become more beautiful. And what they see in the magazines makes them more beautiful than the way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made them. Make it make sense, people. Make it make sense. But this is the kryptonite for our sisters. This obsession with worldly beauty. Okay, man, it's time to pray. So one commitment that I had made this year is I don't want to, my wife, subhanallah, man, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant her Jannah. She brought an Adhan clock for me, for the house. Um, And so now, whenever it's time to pray, that goes off. I had a device before, and sometimes if the device is off, it doesn't go off. And so prayer times weren't punctual. But my commitment for this coming year is I'm reading every day. And I'm going to make sure that I'm praying on time. And so, with that, brothers and sisters, um, let me go and pray. But if you are if you're looking for a spouse, you're looking for a husband, you're looking for a wife, and you are a practicing Muslim, please reach out to Men of Deen. This is the Men of Deen podcast. I should have said this in the beginning, but I'm saying it in the end. Please reach out to me. You can find me at hearthunter@menofdeen.com. And if you're looking for a practicing spouse, I will help you, inshallah, to find your spouse, complete your deen. And if you find this content helpful, inspiring in any way, um, please share it. You know, I'm not trying to be an internet sensation, but I am trying to help as many brothers and sisters as I can. And so if you find this message helpful, inshallah, you do and you will, please share it. And yeah, gotta pray. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace. Hey, assalamu alaikum, Bishop, man. How you doing, brother? Good to see you, man. Alhamdulillah. Brian, what's going on, brother? Assalamu alaikum, rahmatullah. Let's do it. Let's get it. End the stream. Am I off? Okay. Am I off? Oh, wait, I'm still on over here. What the heck, boy? Oh, hey, assalamu alaikum, brothers. What's going on? See, I was live on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram, so I got to turn all these things off, man. Salams, brother. Salams. And that. All right, we good?